What if I told you that nearly 2 million years ago, our ancient ancestors were out there, walking upright, controlling fire, and exploring new worlds long before humans spoke a single word or created art? These early pioneers, known as Homo erectus, didn't leave behind written stories or grand monuments, yet their survival and spread across continents laid the hidden foundation of everything we are today. How did they manage to thrive in harsh, ever-changing environments with only the simplest tools? What secrets do they hold about the beginning of human curiosity, resilience, and innovation? Let's dive into their extraordinary journey and discover how the first steps of our species still echo through time. Homo erectus, often hailed as a cornerstone in the grand narrative of human evolution, represents a remarkable evolutionary breakthrough, living approximately from 1.9 million years ago to as recently as 110,000 years ago, spanning an astonishing time frame that witnessed some of the most significant biological and cultural transformations in hominin history. Emerging out of Africa, Homo erectus was the first hominin species to exhibit many traits closely aligned with modern humans, such as a tall, robust body structure with long legs and shorter arms, which were perfectly adapted for efficient, endurance-based bipedalism. This anatomical evolution allowed Homo erectus to become highly mobile, capable of covering vast distances on foot, which was crucial for exploring and colonizing a range of environments, from the dense forests and savannas of Africa to the open grasslands of Eurasia, including regions in present-day Indonesia, China, and Europe. The geographic spread of Homo erectus marks the earliest known human migration beyond the African continent, demonstrating their extraordinary ability to adapt to diverse and often challenging climates, including colder, temperate zones where survival demanded new strategies and innovations. Their brains, with an average volume between 600 and 1100 cubic centimeters, were significantly larger than those of their predecessors, indicating an important step forward in cognitive capacity, problem-solving ability, and social complexity. This cerebral expansion was critical in enabling Homo erectus to develop advanced technologies and social behaviors that fostered cooperation and cultural transmission, cornerstones of human success. One of the most groundbreaking advancements attributed to Homo erectus was the Acheulean tool industry, marked by bifacial hand axes, cleavers, and flake tools that demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of raw material selection and tool production techniques. These tools were multifunctional, serving in hunting, butchering, woodworking, and food preparation, reflecting not only technical skill, but also planning and foresight. The creation and use of such tools indicate cognitive abilities that likely included abstract thinking and perhaps even early forms of teaching or learning within groups, as tool-making methods were passed from one generation to the next, solidifying cultural traditions. Equally transformative was the mastery of fire, a development that profoundly altered the lifestyle and survival of Homo erectus. Controlled fire use provided warmth and safety, extended activity into the night, and offered protection from predators, but most importantly, it revolutionized their diet by enabling the cooking of food. Cooking enhanced nutrient availability and digestibility, which may have contributed to physiological changes such as smaller teeth and jaws, and ultimately influenced brain development due to improved energy intake. The social ramifications of fire use are no less significant, as hearths likely became central gathering places fostering communication, social bonding, and the exchange of knowledge, thus laying the groundwork for complex social interactions and possibly even rudimentary language. The anatomical characteristics of Homo erectus also suggest adaptations for endurance running and efficient long-distance walking, supporting hypotheses that they were effective persistence hunters capable of chasing prey over great distances until exhaustion. This endurance capability would have been essential in the open environments they inhabited, highlighting the interplay between physiology, environment, and behavior in shaping their evolutionary success. Furthermore, the social life of Homo erectus, while still not fully understood, likely involved cooperative hunting, shared childcare, and group living, indicating early forms of social organization that strengthened group cohesion and survival chances in a world full of predators and ecological challenges. Fossil evidence reveals Homo erectus individuals with robust skeletal structures and healed injuries, suggesting care for injured or ill group members, a behavior that points to empathy and social responsibility, key features in the evolution of human societies. The cultural and biological legacy of Homo erectus also includes signs of increasing brain lateralization and possible proto-language capabilities, as indicated by skull and auditory anatomy studies, hinting that they might have communicated in more complex ways than simple gestures or calls, although this remains an active area of research. Importantly, the long duration of their existence and wide geographical distribution suggest that Homo erectus was not a static species, but one that evolved and diversified over time, adapting to new challenges and environments, which led to regional variations and eventually to the emergence of other hominin species, including Homo heidelbergensis and Homo sapiens. The study of Homo erectus thus offers profound insights into how early humans transitioned from primitive survival strategies to more advanced cultural behaviors, setting the stage for the eventual rise of modern humans. Their story challenges us to rethink what it means to be human, showing that the roots of technology, culture, cooperation, and adaptation run far deeper into the past than previously imagined. The physical and behavioral innovations pioneered by Homo erectus, such as tool-making sophistication, fire use, increased mobility, and social complexity, not only ensured their survival for nearly 2 million years, but also established the foundational elements of human civilization. By examining their fossils, tools, and sites, we uncover a vivid portrait of a species that was both resilient and innovative, capable of overcoming environmental hurdles through creativity and collaboration. The footprints left by Homo erectus in the archaeological record are echoes of a world where human ancestors first stepped out into the broader landscape, taking the bold steps that would eventually lead to the extraordinary diversity and complexity of Homo sapiens. Their evolutionary journey is a testament to the power of adaptation, the emergence of culture, and the beginnings of human identity, a story that continues to captivate scientists and lay people alike, inspiring us to explore our origins and understand the profound connection we share with these ancient ancestors. Ultimately, Homo erectus embodies the essence of human progress, reflecting how small anatomical changes combined with cultural innovations can produce monumental shifts in survival and existence, making them a crucial subject for anyone seeking to grasp the deep history of humanity and the evolutionary forces that shaped our species. Homo neanderthalensis, commonly known as Neanderthals, represent one of the most fascinating branches of the human evolutionary tree, having lived across vast stretches of Europe and Western Asia for nearly 360,000 years. From approximately 400,000 to 40,000 years ago, during the harsh Ice Age epochs that tested the limits of survival and adaptation. Far from the simplistic, brutish caveman stereotype once popularized, Neanderthals were a highly adaptable and intelligent species whose physical and behavioral traits were perfectly tailored to their challenging environments. Their robust, muscular bodies were shorter and stockier than those of modern humans, a physiological adaptation aimed at conserving body heat in freezing climates, while their prominent brow ridges, large noses and wide chests helped them endure cold air and harsh weather, all signs of evolution finely tuning them to the Ice Age tundras and forests they inhabited. Remarkably, Neanderthals possessed brains as large as, or even larger than ours, with complex neural structures that enabled advanced cognition, problem-solving skills, and social behaviors. Archaeological evidence paints a vivid picture of their daily lives. They crafted and used Mysterian tools made primarily of flint, meticulously shaped into spear points, scrapers, and knives, often hafted onto wooden shafts, demonstrating a high degree of craftsmanship and planning. These tools weren't just rudimentary implements, but vital instruments that allowed Neanderthals to hunt large Ice Age megafauna such as mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and reindeer, which provided not only nourishment, but also raw materials for clothing and shelter. Their diets were diverse and opportunistic, incorporating a variety of plants, nuts, and seafood, which highlights their remarkable ability to exploit different ecological niches and seasonal resources, an indicator of their flexible survival strategies. Beyond subsistence, Neanderthals exhibited complex social structures and cultural practices that reveal profound cognitive depth. They intentionally buried their dead with apparent rituals, often including grave goods, such as tools or animal bones, suggesting they held some form of spiritual or symbolic beliefs about life and death. The discovery of ochre pigments, possible body ornamentation, and even evidence of cave art challenges the notion that symbolic creativity was exclusive to modern humans, revealing that Neanderthals engaged in personal expression and possibly communicated through symbols. Genetic studies have dramatically reshaped our understanding of Neanderthals' relationship with Homo sapiens, revealing that interbreeding occurred when modern humans migrated out of Africa and encountered Neanderthals, resulting in approximately 1 to 2% of DNA in non-African modern populations being inherited from Neanderthals. This genetic legacy influences aspects of our immune response, skin biology, and even predispositions to certain diseases, making Neanderthals an inseparable part of our own species' history. Their social groups were likely tight-knit communities characterized by cooperation and empathy, as evidenced by healed injuries in fossil remains indicating care for sick or wounded members. Their control of fire was crucial not only for warmth and cooking, but also for social interaction and protection, highlighting their capacity for managing complex technologies and social cohesion. Although Neanderthals vanished from the archaeological record about 40,000 years ago, likely due to a combination of climate change, competition from expanding Homo sapiens populations, and possibly disease, their disappearance was not a simple extinction, but rather a blending of lineages and cultures that enriched our own evolutionary journey. Their sophisticated tool use, adaptive strategies, cultural complexity, and genetic contributions continue to captivate scientists and challenge long-held assumptions about what it means to be human, illustrating that Neanderthals were not inferior or primitive, but a resilient, innovative, and deeply human species whose story is inseparably intertwined with our own. Homo sapiens, the species to which all modern humans belong, mark a pivotal evolutionary breakthrough characterized by remarkable biological adaptations and unprecedented cultural complexity that allowed them to flourish globally and transform the course of life on Earth. Emerging roughly 300,000 years ago in Africa, Homo sapiens exhibited a suite of anatomical features that distinguished them from earlier hominins. A tall, rounded skull housing a large brain averaging between 1,300 and 1,400 cubic centimeters. A flat and narrow face with reduced prognathism, smaller brow ridges, and a more delicate skeleton with slender limbs adapted for endurance running and fine motor skills. These physical characteristics reflect not only evolutionary changes in form, but crucial neurological developments, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, which underpin advanced cognitive functions such as abstract reasoning, long-term planning, problem-solving, and complex language. The fossil record, alongside archaeological findings, demonstrates that early Homo sapiens rapidly innovated their toolkit during the Upper Paleolithic era, developing sophisticated blade-based stone tools, bone and antler implements, sewing needles for tailored clothing, and fishing gear that enabled exploitation of varied aquatic environments. Such technological leaps facilitated their expansion into diverse and often challenging habitats, from dense forests to arid deserts and frigid tundras, reflecting unparalleled ecological flexibility. Beyond technology, the cultural and symbolic behavior of Homo sapiens reveals a profound cognitive revolution. Cave paintings, such as those found in Lascaux, France, and Sulawesi, Indonesia, showcase vivid depictions of animals, hunting scenes, and abstract symbols, implying not only artistic expression, but also complex communication and shared belief systems. Personal adornments, including beads made from shells and bones, indicate the emergence of social identity, status differentiation, and possibly ritual practices. Deliberate burial sites from this period, sometimes containing grave goods, suggest early conceptions of mortality, spirituality, and perhaps an early form of religion or ancestor worship. These behaviors highlight that Homo sapiens were not merely biological entities, but creators of culture, capable of transmitting knowledge, values, and innovations across generations through teaching and language, a faculty crucial for their social complexity and survival. Starting around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens undertook a series of migrations out of Africa in multiple waves, a process known as the out of Africa dispersal. They first moved into the Middle East, where they encountered and occasionally interbred with Neanderthals, another hominin species adapted to Europe and Western Asia. Genetic studies reveal that most non-African populations today carry about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA, contributing traits related to immune response and adaptation to colder climates. Similarly, in Asia, early Homo sapiens met Denisovans, a mysterious archaic group known mostly from genetic and fragmentary fossil evidence. Interbreeding with Denisovans left a genetic legacy particularly significant in Melanesian and Tibetan populations, the latter benefiting from adaptations for high-altitude living. These gene flow events illustrate that Homo sapiens' evolutionary history is complex and intertwined with other hominins, enriching their genetic diversity and adaptive potential. The successful global colonization of Homo sapiens was facilitated by their cognitive abilities, flexible social structures, and cultural innovations. They mastered the use of fire for cooking and warmth, which improved nutrition and energy efficiency, and developed shelter construction techniques to endure harsh climates. Their diets were remarkably varied, including hunting large game, fishing, gathering plant foods, and later managing early forms of agriculture. This dietary flexibility played a critical role in their ability to inhabit nearly every terrestrial environment. Moreover, social cooperation, language, and symbolic thought fostered large coordinated groups capable of complex hunting strategies, resource sharing, and cultural transmission, all crucial for survival in new and competitive ecosystems. Around 12,000 years ago, Homo sapiens entered a new chapter known as the Neolithic Revolution, transitioning from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled agriculturalists. The domestication of plants and animals allowed for population growth, social stratification, and the rise of villages and eventually cities. This shift laid the foundations for civilization, including the development of writing systems, governance, trade networks, and monumental architecture. The transformation was not merely economic, but reshaped human society, environment, and even biology through changes in diet, disease exposure, and social organization. Today, Homo sapiens continue to exhibit the hallmarks of their evolutionary heritage: intelligence, creativity, and adaptability, while facing challenges such as environmental degradation, climate change, and social inequality. Understanding their origins and journey provides crucial insights into human nature, potential, and responsibility toward the planet. The story of Homo sapiens is one of extraordinary transformation, survival, and innovation, demonstrating how a species once vulnerable and limited evolved into a global force capable of reshaping the world in unprecedented ways.